What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. It's your girl, Drika Shine. And we are going to talk with our special guest today. It's going to be Neffie. And as soon as she comes in, I'm going to have her join the live and we'll start the conversation here. So I'm pretty excited. Welcome in, Tessa Cuts Hair. How are you doing? Welcome in, everyone. And as soon as she comes in, I'm just giving her a few moments. Okay, there she go. Welcome in. All right. Welcome, Neffie. How are you?
Hi. How are
Good,
you?
good, good,
I'm
good.
just making sure
Welcome.
I look okay over here. Don't mind me.
You look
How you doing?
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
How
I'm,
are you,
I'm
Queen?
amazing. Thank you. I'm so grateful to have you on the Life of Shine podcast. I have looked over your page and your work, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk to her to to
Oh,
know
thank
more
you.
about you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what's
All
your
right.
name and all those good things.
My name is Nefertiti. Um, I go by Nefertiti Chantel because there's a lot of Nefertitis online now. Um, and I am originally born in Bahamas, and I was raised in South Florida, and I reside in Central Florida right now.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm a hairstylist. I have been styling hair. I would say since about 13, I've been braiding and plaiting. I'm actually a retired braider, and I focus on hair care now. So that's pretty much that.
Okay. So tell me a bit about you say you're a retired braider and you
Yes.
focus on hair care. What was that process or journey like for you that made you shift to that
Um.
specialty?
So I feel like for me, I was kind of like forced in the industry, and so it was just a natural gift. I used to do my own, and everybody would ask me to do theirs as well. So I started off braiding because I started braiding my own hair. And so in high school, I was booked and busy with braids. And then I moved away for college. And then in college, I was booked and busy with rope twists at the time. And I used to charge like $50, $60 for a head of rope twists and a head of
Hmm.
braids. So I had a lot of clientele because I was so cheap. And so I shifted from braiding, doing plaits and rope twists to doing kids braids. And then just as I got older, my body just started wearing down on me. And I remember one night I had a client, I did a head of plaits, and my hands were so cramped up. I went to church that night and I couldn't even clap my hands.
Mm.
And so I decided like I have to let this go. Like I have to. And so that was about 2016, and I've been retired doing that ever since. Yeah. And so
Wow.
hair care, like I said, I live in Central Florida, and I just realized that most of the women only want to weave, and I became like a weave stylist. And then I just realized like my hair is healthy because I grew up going to a salon and I knew what to do to my hair, but their hair is so unhealthy. So maybe I should share my knowledge with them to help them get healthier hair underneath the weaves.
Hmm.
And then I went to cosmetology school and I just learned so much about hair care, and I decided it wasn't even me. God was like, this your lane. So you need to pay attention and you need to do what I asked you to do. And so here I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm curious to know, I mean, as far as your journey as a hairstylist, because I know that you've been through certain processes of like endurance, adversity,
Mm-hmm.
and things
Mm-hmm.
like that, especially when you're speaking about as a braider having those hand issues and things. What was your journey like, I guess, as a businesswoman, as you becoming the person you needed to be
Mm-hmm.
in obedience with
Mm-hmm.
walking the path of hair care now?
Mm-hmm.
Like what was some of those things you felt like you were struggling with and had to
I,
overcome?
I would say like I'm an entrepreneur first and a hairstylist second, and I've always had a business mindset. Like I was the person selling snacks in school, you know, reselling chips and pickles that I got from the candy lady myself. I would go to school and resell it. So I've always had a business mindset. So for me, once I decided that hair was my thing, I was in college, and I was in college for criminal justice pre-law. And so once I decided like hair is really taking over my life, I switched my major to business entrepreneurship. And then from there, while I was in college, I opened my first salon. So I didn't even have a hair license, but I had a business license. So for me, I always think about hair like, for me, hair is my gift, but business is first, you know? So I always handle myself like a business. Ever since I was little, I've always treated myself like I would always see people walk by with their briefcases and stuff, and I would be like, that's going to be me when I grow up. I don't know if you would used to watch like Tabitha Takes Over the Salon.
Yes.
I used to look at Tabitha and like, I don't want to be a hairstylist, but I want to be the person to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in the salon. So that was my mindset since I was like 13, 14 years old. And as I got older, I actually had a little conflict with my dad with leaving college to really pursue this thing full time. And he got to see it come, you know, come full circle. And he was so proud of me at the end. But at first he was like, no, you need to go to college. Like, that's the future for you. That's the future I see for you. And I was like, Daddy, it's something about these hands. God is calling me to do it. I got to be obedient. So I think it's a plus being a stylist, but business is really my passion. So business with me first, and then hair second.
Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing. I mean, you touched on so many things that I want to dive into, but the first one that's coming up for
Can
me
I share this
is
to my page as well? I'm going to share it. Can I share it?
I believe you're actually on your page when you come into it.
Oh, okay, girl. I don't know nothing about
it. So as you said that you knew that you wanted to use your gifts as a hairstylist, and I'm kind of picking up on as far as the part where your daddy saw college for you and you didn't kind of pursue that. What was that like? I mean, how can you speak to that idea of like overcoming what maybe your expectations of your parents or close family and loved ones that they feel like, is that something that maybe you have to work through personally or?
Yes. See, for me, I knew that my family, my father he's from Belize. He recently passed, but he was from Belize. And so being an immigrant here in this country, I know my dad just wanted me to be successful. And I know that he thought that college was going to be that route for me. And I know that he just wanted what's best for me. And I had to remind him, Dad, you want what's best for me, and so do I. So it was a big kind of friction there with us at first because I'm so bullheaded. And I'm obedient. I will listen to what my parents tell me, but I always had, this is my life in the back of my head. And so I told my dad, I said, well, Dad, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I know it's not like, you know, I know you're thinking about hairstylists back in the day and how little money they made. And I was like, I just feel like this is something that I need to take serious. And I told him, I said, you are my father. Because let me back up. I actually had went to church with one of my cousins that I grew up with, and her pastor prophesied to me. And while I was in college contemplating, like, man, I want to leave and go to hair school. And I went to church with her, and her pastor prophesied. He said, you are wasting your time. He said, God has called you to use your hands. So once he told me that, that boosted my confidence. And I knew that God trumps everybody, even my father. And so that was the conversation I had with him. And my dad was he was Rasta. He was a very spiritual person. And I said, Daddy, you are my father, and I know you want what's best for me, but God is your father. And he told me that this is what I need to do. And so he probably wanted to slap the taste out my mouth. But I felt a boldness in my spirit to really stand up to him, and not stand up to him, but just say, hey, Dad, like, I got it from here. Thank you for raising me. And I also told him, I said, you don't trust your parenting skills? You don't feel like you put what's in me, you know, to come out? I said, you did a good job with me. I got it from here. Thank you, but I'm going to take this route. And so, yeah, we didn't speak for about a year. I ain't going to say we didn't speak for about a year. I'm a daddy's girl. So the thing when I said we didn't speak, we always hugged each other every time I seen him. But it was a period where it was like, hey, daddy, you know, like it ain't no hugging going on because you being disobedient, you know. And he used to call me the prodigal child all the time. And I'm just glad that I stuck to what was in my spirit. And I'm glad that eventually God was able to show him what he put in me. And eventually he was like, I'm proud of you. And it made him want to start his own entrepreneurial, you know, journey.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, you're so inspiring. I mean, I love that idea of like, stepping into your boldness and really just believing in yourself, and even how you speak about the confidence. So is that what really carried you into like opening up a salon, and what was that journey and process
Girl,
like?
honestly, to be honest with you, I knew I was going to be somebody. I just didn't know who or what. And this was all, when I look back, all things work together for my good. So my first time opening a hair salon, I didn't mean to. What happened was I was in college. I was in Gainesville in a college town. I was booked and busy in my house. And I was a stranger. And I'm like, I don't know these people. My house is packed with strangers. I need to get into somebody's salon. So I went around the city and introduced myself and, hey, this is what I could do. Here's my work. And the doors just kept closing. And so I was like, I'm going to open my own door. You know, like I need to get out of my house. I don't know these people. I'm making good money. And for my safety, I need to find a building. And I did. So when I was in college, me and my friend at the time, we found a salon that was like $650 for rent. We signed a lease, and then I opened up my first salon. We actually, I was like 21, 22 at the time. So we were so young, didn't really know what we were doing. I didn't have any guidance because, like I said, my dad was like, well, do your thing then. Don't call me. And so it was trial and error. It was tough. But all things worked together for my good, you know. Me and that friend fell out. I had to take it over, and I was like, God, I don't know if I can handle this because I wasn't planning on doing this by myself. But he led me through it. I ended up closing down, going to get licensed, and doing it over the right way. And so, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Wow. Okay. So you have your salon now, and how long have you been in business with your salon?
So this will actually be my third salon. I just moved from a salon suite that was really big. It was like 1,600 square feet. And now I'm moving into my own building. So it hasn't opened yet. I'm opening within the next 2 weeks.
Hmm. Okay.
But yeah, the first salon, that was back in 2014, 2013, 2014. And I had that for about a year before people started calling the state because I didn't have a license. And then I shut it down. It took me about 6, 7 years before I opened back up after that.
Okay. So that
Yeah.
was some time there where you had to kind of build yourself.
The journey happened after that. It was
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
I thought that I was going to go to hair school, challenge the test after 600 hours, because, you know, cosmetology school in Florida is 1,200 hours. So I was like, after I do 400 hours, I think it was, I'm going to challenge the test so I could get back in my business. And God said no. He said no. So me supposed to be in school for 4 months turned into 3 years. And now here I am.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like, girl, I had it all figured out. I was like, I'm gonna be gone for 4 months. I'm gonna open my business back up. We gonna boom. No, shut down for 7 years. It was 7 years.
Yeah. So I'm sensing that, of course, with everything, there's a process and there's a journey, which is what you're speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
So, even me just being a coach, I know that a lot of personal development goes into being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know you speak about God and your spirituality. So I kind of want to know more about like how was your personal development and mindset work or journey
Mm-hmm.
as you were going through those different challenges and overcoming them? Because I mean, you're here today and you
Mm-hmm.
seem
That's
to have,
good.
endured a lot. So I would love to know what was that like?
Girl, to be honest, I didn't start seeking God until I opened my first salon. When I opened that salon, I was like, dang, my dad, like, he loved me, but he like, girl, you want to learn the hard way, go for it. And then my family, I was 4.5 hours away from my family. I was all by myself. I fell out with my friend that I started the business with. My best friend at the time, he was away, and so I was literally all by myself, and I just started to pray. And I had a client who God sent me, and I used to always say, Katie, can you pray for me? Please pray for me. And I used to tell her my problems, and she would always pray for me. And then one day I was like, Katie, pray. This is what's going on. Pray for me to get this. And she was like, No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do it. She was like, You're gonna do it. And so she was like, just say, God, I need you. Just start a real conversation with him. And I did. And so I opened my salon, and I had to fire contractors. Everything I'm going through right now, I went through then, but I didn't have this mindset at that time. So I just fired a contractor, and I had to do the same thing in the beginning. I was firing contractors. They was taking my money. They wasn't showing up. And I just broke down one day, and I was like, God, help me, help me, help me. And so shout out to Joseph Perry. He's another stylist in from Gainesville area. He was like, oh, my daddy could help you fix this place up. And I was like, who is your dad? And he was like, oh, he'll be here tomorrow. So the guy came in and fixed the place up. And at the time, I was a young college student, so I was drinking and smoking and all kind of stuff, partying. So the man came in, and I'm in the shop, stressed out, drinking a Smirnoff. A hot mess. And he came in, he fixed the whole thing. At first he was going to charge me one number, then he cut that number in half. And so that same friend, Joseph, he was like, come to church with me on Sunday. And I was like, I don't go to church. And I had every excuse, like, I don't go to church. And he was like, you need to come to church with me. And I was like, I'm not going. I was like, I don't have church clothes. And he was like, well, it's outside. You don't need church clothes. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go. And so I went, and that day my spirit was forever changed. That day was the first day that I feel like God spoke to me. It's one thing when somebody prophesies to you, and it's another thing when God is speaking to you. And I just felt like, I need to be here. I need to get this word. I need to get this relationship. I got to work for this relationship, but I want it so bad. And so I began to talk to God like I'm talking to you. And he began to show me things. And that's when my life started to change. You know, at first it was very frustrating because I felt like, well, when you start relying on God, your life should be peaceful, right? Everything should go your way. And it's like the world was coming against me. I had got kicked out of the hair school. I had broke up with my fiance at the time. I had, like, it was so much going on. And I was just like, well, God, I'm doing right. I stopped going to the club. I stopped doing this. And you're not showing up for me. Like, what is going on? And I now know all things work together for my good. You know, like I said, I plan to be in hair school for 4 months and challenge the test and jump right back in my business. But he kicked me out of that school, which was the Votech in a small town, and sent me to the best school in the world. And I did a year and a half at that school. I worked for that company. I did so many things that I never imagined me doing. I never imagined me doing. This girl now was not the girl back then. Like, girl. And so I'm grateful. I'm thankful. And now I'm going through the same thing, but my spirit is different. I'm postured different. I know it's going to work for my good. I know this is only like trying to take me off course. I know, like, God got me. We got the victory. We gonna win. Like, I ain't worried about it. This too shall pass. I know without a shadow of a doubt.
That's right. That's right. Wow. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I feel like, you know, as I'm hearing you speak, I see, you know, we often talk about evolution, right? But I can see the evolution in your journey, as you're saying, like, the same things may be going on, the parallels or the cycles that we encounter, just how history repeats itself. But you have evolved and handle those things differently in the posture that you have. And I think that speaks to even just the resilience and the emotional intelligence that you develop through adversity. So, I mean, that's amazing to see you today and standing firm and having that head held high and the confidence. So it's like, okay, what's next for Neffie? What is your next thing that you feel you're being called to at this time?
I feel like I'm being called to teach. I have helped so, you know why? Because like I said, I got kicked out of that first school. But when I got in that second school, I was so thankful. So my attitude and my posture was at a high frequency. And everybody was like, dang, we got to come to school. And I was like, y'all, we blessed to be here today. Like, you know, we could be at a rinky-dink school where I just came from. And so I began encouraging and motivating girls in the program, and we began to study together, and we was determined to pass together. And then I left school with the mindset that, God, you sent me to a great place to learn so much, but so many people, that school was like 20 grand. You know, and sometimes, I mean, and other stylists probably won't get that opportunity. So I just want to share what you allow me to learn. And so I'm here in this small town. I've already mentored a few girls, and I'm trying to open up a school, and I'm trying to see if that's where God want me at, because I'm used to moving ahead of him. You know, I'm used to doing what I want to do. And now I'm just like, I'm 33 now. I'm not 20 or 19. And now I'm just like, well, God, I don't want to move incorrectly. I don't want to waste some more money. I don't want to waste resources and time. I'm going to be patient and just open my salon. And if you have them to come, then you send them. So I think education is next for me. But at the same time, I'm just focusing on my posture. So when people come sit in my presence, I'm not rubbing off the wrong things onto them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what's next for me. I really would love to have a hair school and just teach women. And I don't know. We'll see what God says.
That's awesome. I believe it. I see it. I can see the teaching. I can see where, you know, there's so much more for you and in you. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
appreciate it.
for you to share and to actually have someone know, like, they can do it, like they can overcome it. Like, even just how you say you inspired your father and your family members to, you know, become entrepreneurs. And you
Mm-hmm.
know, the journey is it's work, you know,
It's faith,
and just
though.
even
Faith without works is dead, right? It's
yes.
faith and it's work. You gotta have. See, I got the mindset. I'm gonna tell you this about me. This is my little secret. I believe in myself so much. I got almost like a Kanye complex. I believe in myself so much, and it's because, like, it's not even me. I just know God. When you read His word, He said, "The victory is mine." Right? You are my child. Like, you the royal priesthood. So I believe that the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and anything I ask in His name, I could get anything. And so that's how I walk outside. Like, what I'm coming to get today? Like, what's for me today? Can't nobody tell me no. You can say not right now, but you can't say no. And
Mhm.
if it is a firm no, okay, Lord. But what else you got for me? Because you know your child. I need something, you know. But that's just my mindset. You can do anything. You just have to have a Kanye complex, is what I call it.
I
You
love it.
have to be delusionally in belief that you can do anything that you ever dreamed of. You can't have 1 ounce of doubt, because that's when you miss it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's powerful. I mean, because that is definitely a mindset, you know. And so, as far as that goes, what would you like people to know about Neffie, the person, outside of being the businesswoman, but just someone as far as you, and what would you like them to know?
I think what people need to know about me is I'm a human at the end of the day. I've always, lately, I would say, since I moved away from college, I've always shown up business, business, business. But I'm human. I bleed like you bleed. I cry at night sometimes. You know, I'm not superwoman. And I think because I'm in a city that's not my hometown, they know Neffie the businesswoman. They don't know me personally. And so, God forbid something happens to me in my personal life, it's like I'm harshly judged. And I think that people need to understand, like, I'm a 33-year-old woman. You know, I bleed like you bleed. I'm not perfect. I don't try to be perfect. I just try to show up. And how you perceive that is how you perceive it. But I am not in no way, shape, or form perfect. I don't have it all together. I'm trying just like everybody else, and I'm only human.
Yeah.
And outside of doing hair, I have a personal life, because I feel like, because I'm in a city that I'm not from, people like, oh, she the stylist, and they don't think that I have stuff going on outside of the salon. Like, I'm going through a lot in my own personal life right now that I don't share.
Hmm.
You know, so yeah, I'm more than just a
Yeah.
hairstylist.
Yeah. So personally, what are some like hobbies or even other passions that you like, you know, other
Girl.
talents? Because I know for me, when I was a hairstylist, I felt like so many people only saw hair,
Hmm.
but I knew that I was capable of more.
Hmm.
What do you think is like some of the things you enjoy
I
outside of hair?
love to cook. I love to cook, and if I wasn't a stylist, I would have been to culinary school. If I had left college on an entrepreneurial journey and I didn't do hair, it would be culinary. It would be like someone's private chef or something like that. I love cooking. I love to
Hmm.
cook.
Yeah, I love cooking too.
Hmm.
Like, what's some of
Yeah.
your favorite dishes? Like, you have like a recipe, or you got some?
Um. Okay. So right now I am pescatarian, and so I haven't eaten meat since November. So right now my favorite dish is like a big portobello mushroom cooked like a steak with with sauteed onions on top and like some green beans and some mashed potatoes. But I'm from the Bahamas. I was raised in South Florida, so I got so much culture in me. I can cook almost anything.
That
Honestly,
sounds so good.
yes, I can. I can cook almost anything, girl. I ain't lying
Yeah.
to you.
So I noticed you said you're new to the area you're staying now. What inspired you or brought you to that place?
I got married. It's a small town, and I lived in Gainesville, and I worked in Gainesville for some years, and it's the next town over. And I was like, let's start over outside of my college town, and so we moved here. It's like 30 minutes outside of
Okay.
Gainesville.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And congratulations on that. Okay. Well, congratulations still.
Thank you. But
You know
that's the
how many
future.
people you can help through that journey, girl? Because it's life. It's
It is
real.
life.
It's raw. And, we all experience some kind of heartbreak and breakups and things. And, it's just something we learn from. And I feel like, it makes us human, especially as women, how we can come together and
Hmm.
support each other. So,
Yeah.
I say congratulations as well
Thank you.
because, it's a new chapter, new beginnings. And I know that's not the end, you know?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. And I even my mindset on that. Since burying my father, I'm just a free spirit. I'm not gonna say a free because people take that word and run with it. I would say that my life is in God's hands, and I'm not forcing anything in this lifetime. You know,
Mhm.
I put my journey first because I have to. You know, when I go home, it's like, what did you do? What I gave you? That's what God gonna say to me.
Mhm.
So that's my only thing while I'm here on this earth is like, put yourself first. You know, take care of you because when you go home and when your casket closed, that's it for you.
Mhm.
Everybody else's life gonna go on.
Yeah.
So that's my mindset now.
That's really beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I appreciate the mindset that you're able to embody and to witness just another woman in her power as a leader who's leading herself in her journey
Mm-hmm.
and putting herself first because society has taught us
He
to put
laughed.
ourselves last. And to see that reflection here, it's just beautiful because I know that that's work. That's something that you intentionally do. Like you say, like God's first and me, and then anything else is after.
Mm-hmm.
And what can you say when there's times when you haven't put yourself first? What was the
Girl.
effects of that?
To know me is to know my whole life I've been put last. I've always been a servant. I would say that. And it's not nobody put you last. I put me last because I'd rather serve you and make sure that you have a smile on your face. And I'm a fake smile and then go cry later. And after I buried my dad, it's been 3 years almost now. My dad had so much life. Like we would be on the phone talking about our dreams and stuff that we was gonna do. Even the next year, he was like, "Well, next year I'm gonna get my food truck. I'm gonna do this." And to see him die and not be able to do that because he too put everybody before him, that was an eye opener for me. My dad passed away at 60. I'm 33 now. I was 30 when he passed. So I'm just like, well, dang God, if you spare me 30 more years, I need to do something with these 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be a reflection of me looking like a servant and just being a servant. That's what he called us to do. But you can't serve, like they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. And I would say, like it's self-love. I think I love myself a little bit more now
Mm-hmm.
that my father has transitioned. I loved me then, but I had him for reassurance. I had him for validation. And now that he's gone, it's like, girl, who gonna validate you? Who gonna reassure you? Who gonna call you and encourage you and tell you that they're proud of you? And so I had to stand up for myself. I had to do that for myself and just start showing up as my best self, because I was looking crazy for the past 3 years. I cried 3 years straight, almost every day. And now I'm like, you got life. You know, you need to live. And so this year, 2024, I say, you know what? This year about me. This year is about me. I got goals that I need to accomplish if God spare my life. But this year, I love y'all, but I love me too.
Yeah. So what was that turning moment for you? Like when you was like, I'm done doing all this crying. It's time to boss up. It's time to really go ahead and pursue my dreams and passions. What was that turning moment? Like what happened? Like,
I going through this divorce situation with my husband. I realized that people can love you, but they love you from what's in them to give, you know? And when I when I don't want to say too much, but I want to be transparent. You know, when I realized like this is not the place for me, I had to realize what led me to that place. How did I get here? Was my question.
mm-hmm.
Like, how did I get here? Oh, this is how you got there. And so I would say about last year, I had a wake up call. Like, you are worthy. You are somebody. Everybody else see it but you. You need to get your ass up. And I started doing my hair every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. You know,
Yeah.
you need to get up and show up. I don't care what you get up and show up. You know, at least do that for yourself. And so I would say like last year around July, I started to mentally transition.
Okay.
You know, I started to mentally say, you know what, it's okay to have a bad day, but that's nobody's fault. You know, still get up and show up. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm still transitioning. I'm not fully there. I smile a lot more these days. I'm thankful for that, but it's still a bit of a transition. It's still a bit of a process.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know.
But I just know I got so much love in me because I was raised in love. My dad was a very loving man. And I just feel like this world will really hurt in your heart if you let it. So you have to, you know, I think for me right now is a shift in being too nice, because I used to be mean as shit. I used to be real mean.
No, you can.
And then I
You're safe
became,
here. You can cuss. You
yeah,
can be you.
girl, I used to be so mean coming out of the world. I used to be so mean. And then once I got in God, it's like I became a doormat. And I'm like, what is this? This don't feel good. God, what is this?
Yeah.
I can't cuss them out. What you mean? I can't fight back. What do you mean? And I think now I realize that you can. It's not what you do, it's how you do
Mm-hmm.
it. You know, you're not supposed to be a doormat. Just because you follow God don't mean lay down and let somebody talk to you crazy, treat you any kind of way. You can defend yourself. You can speak up. You know, you have a voice too. So,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. So what I'm hearing is that you found your voice, but you also found the balance in the way you were able to experience one extreme over the other. So that's kind of how we learn what works. Is like, okay, let me experience that. Okay, let me experience. Okay, no, let me
My
wake up.
voice used
Let's.
to be real heavy and strong. Like, like I remember people saying like, "You go ask them because when you ask, they gonna do it." You know, and I used to be like, "Well, why?" Like, and I guess the authority that I had, I just always thought I was somebody.
Yeah.
And so then once I got in church, it was like, well, you're hurting people feelings. Like people started to tell me like, you can't talk like that and da 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 da. And so I just became real meek,
Mm-hmm.
quiet, disappeared off social media, just retreated to my isolation zone. And now I'm like, but God, this hurts. Like they said that and I can't say this, and they did that and I can't. And I think He's releasing me now because I've learned my lessons, and now I have a better way to say things. And so I use my voice because who gonna say it? Who, you know, who gonna stand up? Who gonna speak up?
That's right. Like,
So
who
you
gonna
know about
advocate for
us?
you if you don't?
Yes. I'm like I'm a big advocate too. Like I'm going like somebody doing you wrong and you ain't said nothing. No, don't do her like that. You know, I feel like I think that's why God was like, go sit down because that's not your job. I'm gonna speak up, baby. I'm gonna say it. But all things in moderation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So yeah, so I would love to know as far as when it comes to you and your next phase, because I know you said you're still in the process. And
Yes.
I often feel that we are the creators of our lives. We are writing our story. And if there was a story to write, what would your story be?
My story would be that I worked hard, that I treated people well, that I helped as much as I could, and that I loved myself and I loved people like I loved myself. And I believed in God, you know. If I can plan out my next, I would say 20 years, I would be maybe a grandma. You know, I don't have any kids yet, but in 20 years, only God knows. And I would have something to leave behind for my children and their children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I don't have it yet, but I'm working in faith. Like, God, well, you ready now, but I ain't gonna rush it. But I'm working in faith that I have something to leave on this earth that could start the next generation off on a better foot than I started off with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Legacy.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Legacy.
Legacy. Yeah.
So as far as
My daughter.
the Neffie, hold on, I believe, what's the name of your salon?
It was Nefertiti Chantel Artistry, but now it's Salon 211. The new salon will be Salon 211.
Salon 211. And is it currently open now?
We are opening as we speak. We are
Oh,
getting ready to open. The
what?
city moves slow with inspections and stuff, so we trying to get them to hurry up. But I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. So you're preparing for an opening. I mean, what, girl?
I don't even feel like I don't feel no way. I don't know.
I know you don't, because this is like I'm just going through the motions. I'm taking the steps that's needed each day and taking it one by one. And
Because
that's
this ain't
really
the end
how it,
goal, you know. But I
yeah.
have to learn to live in the moment. I think that's something I struggle with. I'm so futuristic minded that I see the big building with the school in the back and appreciate what you have now. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's really what it boils down to. The present moment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So do you have like any products you sell or any other
I do. I have the best edge control on the planet. From
yeah.
what the people say. From what the people say. I didn't let them just give me anything. I was like, no, reformulate. My girl edge is still curling up. Go take it back and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a really good edge control that I'm known for. And I have just added some like a hair mask and some glueless lace stuff because I know the girls gonna wear lace no matter what I say. Somebody gonna put on a lace wig, so
Mm-hmm.
I have glueless application stuff for them, so they don't have to use the glue to put it on.
Okay. And what's
Because
your
remember, we're hair care, so
right?
I don't want to go too far from my own niche. So
Yeah. So what's the name of the product for especially the edge control? Because the girls need to know.
the edge control is the Nefertiti Chantel collection. All of my products are in Nefertiti Chantel collection, and um, so I am working on like marketing for that. I think that's what I suck at. I suck at marketing, so I'm trying to find a good way to market those products. But it's Nefertiti Chantel collection.
Okay. So y'all definitely go check that out. The Nefertiti Chantel collection.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same for the glueless application products as well?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Now I see you have beautiful hair here. Do you sell any hair as well, or just?
I do. These are my 12A bundles, and they for sale. I guess because the salon not open, I don't really know how to market it, but I will have a website where you can purchase hair.
Okay, amazing. So she's gonna be. So y'all be on the lookout for her website where she'll have all her products for you guys to access worldwide. You're gonna take that thing global now. I can see it.
You see it. You see it. I ain't gonna knock it down. If you see it, girl, I see it too.
Yeah, I mean, because to me, I get it. Like when you say you're not sure about marketing, because marketing is a skill, and if you're actually like anything else, you have to practice. You have to continue to learn it and apply. So to me, it just means that when I hear someone say I'm not good at marketing, it just means that I haven't done it enough.
I need to delegate that task to somebody else who is good at it. What I've learned about being a hairstylist, I think this is important, is that we are a one-man band. I'm management, I'm janitorial, I'm the stylist, I'm maintenance if something breaks. I gotta market my products. I gotta restock my products. So I'm learning to give that task to somebody who went to school for it. Just like I went to school to do hair, somebody went to school for marketing. So find that person and give them that task so you can focus on what you're great at. So that's what I ain't got the coin for that yet, but that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because especially as a business owner with a brick and mortar, and just any business in particular, where I remember being in the salon and feeling like I hit a certain plateau with income growth or just even in my capability as far as you say you're doing it all, right? But when it comes to hiring, that's scaling. That's being able to take it to another level, right? And I know one of the big things that may hinder us from hiring is the fact that we say, oh, I don't have the income to hire someone. But to me, it's like, what will help you take it to the next level? Because, you can reach a cap if it's just you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want that just,
Retail.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So with you retailing and you putting out your products more, that would mean if you ain't, somebody got to do the marketing. Somebody got to put it out.
But see, my first thing is at least try to make a sale to the client that's already in your chair. If you can't sell to them, you can't sell to nobody. So for me, it's like once I get them comfortable with the product right now, because we're talking about scaling, but you got to start somewhere. So my first step is actually getting the product. And step 2 would be selling it to who already comes to me, who already knows me. And then step 3 would be selling it to their friends and family because word of mouth. And then step 4, which is the phase I'm in now, is people asking, well, what's your website? So step 4 would be the website. And then step 5 would be hiring a marketer to push that website out there to the world.
Yeah. Okay. Well, say you got the game plan. You just gotta execute.
Tell the plan you plan to fail. And one thing about me, baby, I'm the man with the plan. Got a plan. It might not work, but I got a plan.
Well, shoot, you shouldn't shoot down the plan. It's got to work because it's the plan.
It better.
You got to work the plan. That's how I see the plan.
Most definitely.
The plan is gonna work because you're gonna work the
Yeah.
plan.
God, see, I don't know. I think that my relationship with God is like a little comical because I used to be a city girl, so I'd be like, okay, Lord, I'm waiting on you now. I'm counting on you for this. Don't make me go give it to my cousins who can flip it now. Like, come on, God, I need you to show up for me now. Show up for me. I'm trying to stay on the straight and narrow. Show up now. So, yeah, write the vision, make it plain, trust God. He gonna, that's why I say sometimes your plan is not his plan. Sometimes it's just not. And plan B, we got plans. We got A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. But yeah.
So 2 questions. What do you feel is the biggest thing, or I would say obstacle, when it comes to retail?
The biggest obstacle when it comes to retail is not having the knowledge of the product that you're selling. If you don't know what you're selling, you can't sell it to nobody. But you have to sell stuff that you believe in, that you know works, and you can stand by. So when you have that product and that mindset, it's retail. It's not a problem. Now, I worked for Aveda, I worked for the Dry Bar, and I was like the top seller for their products. And that let me know when I get my own salon, I could do this for myself. But my problem is I don't have the backing that they had. They had me selling their product. So I need to make sure that whoever comes in my space, I'm educating them so that they can take the product and run with it. You know, that they believe in it too. One thing about Aveda, I believe in that product. I could sell it in my sleep. It works. And I want to say the same thing for my business. Like, this works. Don't believe me, don't buy it. That's my attitude. That's the attitude I want to have. Like, you gonna miss out. Don't purchase it. But you have to believe in your product to the point where you could sell it in your sleep.
That's right. Powerful. So what's an obstacle that you feel is for your salon business? Because I know you're opening, but just in your experiences, like what's your biggest obstacle?
I'm not from here. If I was in my hometown, I feel like, but I'm not from here. So it's like, girl, who is you? We don't know you. We know such and such down the street, but we don't know you. So, and then I'm not as outgoing as I used to be. I'm not as social as I used to be. I'm in the house. So it's like, whoever find me, they come, and I don't know. But that's my biggest obstacle. I'm in a town that I'm not from.
Well, I can understand that because I've been in a town before where I had to start over as a hairstylist in that journey. And I can remember just not really paying attention to the fact that I wasn't from there, because that was like my fire to be like, well, I gotta get these ads out. I gotta get my flyers in somebody's hand. Like, I gotta get my cards, like I literally locked into the idea of that they gonna know me. Not that they ain't from here, but they about to find out.
They gonna find out. And see, in my college town, that's the mindset I had, but I was so much younger. I'm older now. I just buried my dad. I'm going through, so it's like I don't have the same fire that I used to have to even put myself out there. And I have the mindset now, like, what's for me is for me. Lord, you're going to send them or you're not. I'm going to do my little part. I'm on Style Seat. I'm on here. I'm like, hey, y'all, I'm here, but I'm not going to say that. I didn't do what I used to do. I didn't have the flyers. I didn't have the business. I got business cards, but of course, like, I had a whole street team back in the day. Like, I had girls who would come to the club with my t-shirt on. Like, that's the mindset I had then. And now it's like, I'm so picky about who sits in front of me. Even though this is my passion, you just need someone from here who uses and believes in your brand. Word of mouth is king here. That's true. But I'm so picky about I know who I am. And I'm not going to force you to sit here. And I think that's a good and bad thing. But it's what it is right now. It's like, those who find me, they found a gem. Those who don't find me, maybe next time. I don't know. But I got so much going on outside of hair. That's what I was just telling you. I'm more than a hairstylist. So my mind ain't even like pushing my brand like that. It's just pushing health in my mind. Like, I'm ready to really be mentally healed, 100%. And so that's where my focus is. And sometimes this industry will take you in the opposite direction.
Yeah. So I noticed you say you're into other things right now, and I know you've mentioned just your interest in podcasting. Are you willing to share something about that?
Yes and no. I think I needed to do this so I could see how I show up online. Like I said, I think I have like I say this a lot because my friend said, I think I have like a Kanye complex, and I've been said something that got me canceled. And so I am kind of still weighing it out because I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I just,
So let's unpack just what you said right there. You saying something that could get you canceled. Let's say if that's your worst fear, right? I'm a person that likes to face every fear that I have, because how else am I going to go through it besides going through it, right? Like, if that's my worst fear, being canceled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's imagine you were canceled. Then what?
If
What would
I
happen?
was canceled, baby, I'm gonna still make me some money doing something. So,
Okay, now let's talk about this. Who has the power to cancel you?
I guess I would say this, and I say this a lot when I meet clients because I'm from a bigger city. I have a bigger mindset, and sometimes, mm, I don't know. I just feel like everybody doesn't have the same mindset, and so, and then you supposed to be this, you supposed to be this, you supposed to be that, and it's like I don't know. See, you got to know me to know. Like I've been a snap, facts. I'm not gonna take too much before I express myself. So I think like that's the number one thing. I tried a podcast one time. We put it on Facebook. The feedback that came was good and bad, but I'm not mature enough to just let the bad feedback just slide by. I want to address it, and that's my problem. That's a real issue that I have. Like who you talking to? But I need to work on that. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I feel like, that's a part of your process, but I also feel that it's a good thing. I also feel that, you know, multiple perspectives can exist and they all be valid. I also feel that everyone is unique in their unique expression, no matter what that is or what it looks like. Like I don't know if you've seen what podcasts where people are just they're talking about gossip or just stupidity, maybe, just whatever we may deem like unacceptable, but who is to define what's acceptable for you, right?
Exactly.
So to me, when I look at or hear the word cancel culture, just cancel in general, I'm like, no one can cancel me. Like I'm in control of my life. Like if
Yeah.
even if somebody disagreed with me, that doesn't mean they cancel me. It just mean they have a different perspective. And that's okay. Like I don't have to agree with you. We can agree to disagree. Or you could just be blocked from my page. I'm not for you and I'm not for everybody.
That's it right there. That's the truth. That's the truth. And just to talk about more of my podcast, there's a big gap between the stylist and the client, right? You see stylists post like y'all clients this, and then you see clients post like y'all stylists this. So I think what I wanted to do was kind of like bring it together, have a client, have a stylist, like let's share and let's talk about it. Like what is the disconnect? Y'all want a service, we want to provide a service, and that's what I mean, like in that area, saying the wrong thing because like people feel like they can, I don't know, band up against you, comrade. Like, like y'all don't even like each other, but y'all like each other because y'all hate me and y'all gonna collectively. This is stuff that I really dealt with before in my life, so I just feel like online is that on a bigger scale, and so I wasn't at the time in depression and grief. I wasn't ready to show up online and listen to the feedback, good or bad, and have a positive outlook on it no matter what anyone says. And now I think I'm in a better headspace where I can control my emotions a lot better. Um, but I definitely think there's so much that needs to be said, and a lot of people are afraid to say the stuff that may get you canceled, you know. And while I'm not afraid to say it, I also like making my money. So that's my disconnect right
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I get it. I feel like you're gonna figure it out. I just feel like I also feel like you're not gonna let that stop you because at the end of the day, like if it's something you really want to do and it's something that you want, I believe you can go after it and endure whatever challenges come with it because you've shown that even in other areas with your salon, with your hair journey, your father, your loss, just all of the different things. So regardless, I feel we got to take the good with the bad. Like I like to look at every level where we elevate. You know how to say that every new level, new devil. We got to be able to eat everything that come with that level, the good and the bad. Most people just want to eat the good.
Me, I don't need it. Take
Right.
it.
Are you capable? Because this is speaking to the capacity when we're elevating and evolving. are you capable of eating everything that comes with it? And I say that because I've endured some things, and I didn't expect that it would take me or land me in certain places, like jail. You get what I'm saying? Me?
Girl, why? I told the police I don't go to jail. Who's who you locking up? Not me. I'm just playing. But yeah, I've been there too, girl.
So, just knowing that, I was able to endure it because I knew my mindset was where I was headed. Like what I know that those forces came to try to distract me, to stop me, or whatever it was, but it possibly even cancel me. And it could have if I let it, right? But I did it. I said, fuck that. I got a vision, I got a purpose, and I don't serve demons. I serve God. I work for God. So I can't be canceled.
See, that's it right there. See how you say you work for God? I believe in God. I love God. To know me is to know I love him, but to know me is to also know I'm from a place where you will get cussed out. And so I'm
And
trying to find
that's
balance
godly.
on,
Let's talk about it because that's godly. People don't
girl,
believe.
that's not what the people say, girl. You're supposed to be a Christian. You're supposed to be. You not. So that's my thing. Like, I don't know.
I
I'm just
think
trying to
you're
find a way to.
thinking about religion, the religion parts that, or the systems of religion that makes you docile, makes you meek, or just kind of in the ways of like giving your power away. But
Yeah.
see, what I teach and how I empower my clients is like your personal power. There's so many subtle ways that you're giving your power away due to these systems and conditionings, to where it's just really about unlearn, relearn, and unplugging and rewire.
Most definitely. Yeah.
And that's
That's it. Unlearning, relearning, rewiring yourself, and that's where I am right now in my life. At 33 years old, I'm okay. The old me that's gone, but I ain't gonna see people like, oh, you knew the new you. No, I'm maturing. I'm giving myself grace to grow older. My mindset should, mature with me, and I'm learning myself all over again. I'm learning myself without a father. I'm learning myself without a husband. I'm learning myself without my family. I'm relearning myself, and so I'm giving myself grace for that. And then when I feel like I'm ready, meaning where I can come and not be so defensive, then I would show up. But I'm still a little defensive right now about myself, and I think that may be my biggest setback. I've been through so much, and I've always been period. Yes. Thank you. And so I am just learning you don't got to be so hard. You don't got to be so tough. You don't got to be so defensive. You can let people, say what they need to say, and you can just brush it off. But I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I feel like I'm rambling right now. My
bad. No, amazing. So we're gonna leave this interview on a high note. What are some things that you want to tell the people that they can look forward to from you? And
just look forward to me showing up. I feel like I ain't really been showing up. I've been skating through life the past couple years, but I'm ready to just be me again. Like I'm ready to show up for myself. Like I'm ready to show up. I don't care if like I said, if I got to build a door, build a table, I'm ready to show up. So get ready to get tired of me. Prepare to be sick of me is what I can say. I've been in hiding for a little minute. I've been preparing myself, and it ain't even me. Like God has been isolating me and, purging and pruning, and I and so I just feel like now He's releasing me to, okay, daughter, you can speak on that. You can talk about that. You can go to that place. You can go there. You can do that. And now I'm just back outside. I'm outside.
I love it. I love it. But can I tell you what I see?
Yes, I would love to hear it.
I see a woman who's freeing herself. I see a woman who's stepping into a another level and a chapter herself who is powerful, who is showing up very much clear and also impacting those around her and those who have yet to know her. And I feel that, you know, you're going to really shine and show what is truly possible. So I appreciate your story, your journey, you sharing it with each of us, and you've already been showing. You've already been showing up. So thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity, girl. I was so scared. I go live, but it's like if I'm not doing hair is I hide behind doing hair. I feel like that. I hide behind doing hair. I could show up in front of a camera when I'm doing hair because I'm great at that, you know. But speaking to people about like me and stuff like that, I don't really. That's not my strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like get to know my brand, but now I would like people to get to know me outside of my brand. So I thank you for the opportunity.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Let people know where to find you, where your links are.
Find me on TikTok, Nefertiti Chantel. I don't have Facebook. Instagram, Nefertiti Chantel Artistry, and Salon 211. Thank y'all for tuning in. I don't know who came. I see some of my cousins, and thank y'all for watching. And I hope it inspired somebody in some way. But thank you for having me.
Listen, this won't be the last. I look forward to stay connected with you. So thank you for coming in, and y'all make sure y'all book with her, check her out, get her products, and definitely if y'all are in her hometown, make sure y'all fill her bookings up. Peace and love.
I appreciate it. Y'all take care.